continue with our program, and this time we're going to talk about a book that has been written by Michel Ngue-Awane, who is visiting us this morning in the house. Good morning.
Good morning.
Welcome to the program.
Thank you for having me.
How are you?
I'm fine. And
Good,
I'm
I'm fine.
Thank you. Yes.
Okay, I like what you said. You're blessed. So, what is the book all about? Above the Colonial Subconscious, Africa Moves.
Okay. Above the Colonial Subconscious, Africa Moves is a book that talks about the sum of our learning, orchestrated or masterminded by the colonial power to maintain us under their control. I start with the observation that the West did not come here to serve us, but they came here to serve their own interest. And because they came here to serve their own interest, they come with and they didn't have the intention to go back to their countries because they were in search of a paradise. And because they were in search of a paradise, they discovered Africa as a paradise. And when they discovered, they intended to stay. And in order to maintain us under their control, they masterminded all sort of system method to keep us where we were. For example, they use fraud. And fraud is what? Fraud is the use of subtle method to gain from someone by causing loss to other people. But when you see what the West does to us, they use also a method like intimidation, fraud, rape, murder, also a method to intimidate us and to take our resources. So they use those methods, and that's fraud. And fraud is condemned. In the West, it's not accepted. People can go to prison for causing for fraud. Murder is a condemnation. Occupying someone's territory. If I go to your house and occupy your house without your consent, what is it? It's a criminal act, isn't it?
It is.
So they came to occupy our land without our consent. It's a criminal. They use our people. They took our children, brought them to the West, brought them to build their nations and make their wealth, using our people, our resources. That's fraud, that's theft, that's intimidation. All these methods were used against our will.
Okay, Michel, I'm going to ask you I'm sure the question that runs through the minds of others, like it runs through my mind, like we are in 2015 now. Like most of what happened in the colonial area, it's true, we keep it as archives, and as history which has to be told. But we're asking ourselves, why come back and talk to us about this fraud, this stuff that we don't really want to hear so much about it, which was not a good experience? Why write this book at such a period?
Yes, because the debate is not there. We have to recognize, in order to get away, to truly be free, we have to know that we're not free. And actually, we are still colonized mentally. Because the method and the system that they put in place are still ongoing. We are still using the education system. We are still using the thing that they left. We are still working. We are still trading with them in their own terms. We are still trading with them in their own terms. We are still doing what they want us to do, even unconsciously, because they train us to do it. So at this stage, we have to be aware, because we are now self-conscious. We have to be aware about their method before we start to using the strategy. In the book, I'm proposing new strategy, new relationships spectrums, new ways of dealing with the West, using the power.
When you say dealing with the West, what do you mean? Kind of curious.
Yes, the West, we're not going to take them as our enemies, but we have to take them as a partner. And we have to be smart enough to come up with the right strategy, using what I call the power interest quadrant. The power interest quadrant is that the level of interest of someone to your resources, to what you have, and know their level of authority, level of power. If it's someone interested in you and they have less power, you keep them just informed. You just tell them. But if they're very powerful and they're not, if they're very powerful and they're not interested, you keep them satisfied. But if they're very powerful and they're very interested, you keep them as a key partner. But when you keep them as key partner, you have to know what you're gaining in the relationship. You have to negotiate your way.
So it has to be like some sort of a win-win relationship.
It has to be a win-win relationship. Yeah.
Anyway, you're bringing up this issue, which most people would consider a dead debate. Can you be telling us what are you proposing for Africans to overcome the colonial subconsciousness?
We have to be ourselves. We start with the system that fit our interests, meet our need. Start with basic things. I will just take one example. I realize that most of the things, if you go to the shop here, we're not producing anything, and we're not even conscious that we're using everything. In the book, I'm developing what's called money bouncing strategy. When you get your salary and you go to the shop, if you buy something that's made by someone else, you are giving them your money. And we cannot become rich by depending on people's. I see things, basic things like papers, like toothbrush, we are not producing them, and we use them every day. We need to start producing things. Even that 1 franc CFA, we have to start producing everything that we need. Without fighting with them, we produce them like the Chinese they started. Producing basic things, razor blade that costs 10 francs or whatsoever. But basic things like that, when we produce them and we need them, bit by little, we get to the stage whereby we're depending on ourselves and we're using our resources to meet our needs. We are feeding our people, we're producing what our people use. And what we do, like when we get to that stage, we now impose, we have our new education system that train people that we meet the needs of the nation. Not just training people who have basic of this and that. We train people that will respond to what we need in Cameroon.
Okay, Above the Colonial Subconscious African Moves by Michel Ngue-Awane. Where can we find the book?
The book is officially launched on the 20th of June.
Where is that?
And its launch is published by Autorite, okay? And it will be available in Cameroon. But for now, it's English edition. But
Where is the book launch going to take place?
In London.
In London?
Yes.
Okay.
But I will come to Cameroon in August to launch it.
Why choose London first, whereas you are writing something that concerns people here?
Because, the West need to know what they're doing. I think that we need to start. If you see the slavery, it was not, African did not decree the end of the slavery. People in the West came out with a decree to stop the slavery. We have to start. If you want to fight, you fight from the inside.
Yeah.
And that's why I'm starting to fight from there, making people more aware from there and come back here, because we already know the problems here in Africa. But in the West, some people don't know what's going on, so they have to be aware.
Thanks for stopping by, and we wish you a blessed day.
Thank you very much.
Okay, time for us to get a signature tune. And when we come back, we'll be meeting our main guest on today's edition of the program in the person of Wilcy Rufin. She is a mother. She will be talking to us about her experiences and so much more coming your way. You dare not touch the dial.